Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Nicholas Akosile Walter. I do hope you had a wonderful weekend. Here's the news making the headlines. CBN action. ENQUIRY promoters must face the law, says presidency. Guinea's Condé takes victory lap after court declares him president. On U.S. election, Joe Biden pushes forward with plans for office. Oil and gas exports hits $3.71 billion in 13 months. And the NFF to get 1.2 billion naira from Sports Ministry. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of our news after a short break. You're welcome back. Now the news in full. CBN action. ENQUIRY promoters must face the law, says presidency. The presidency has said those who allowed the recent ENQUIRY protests to degenerate into the destruction of lives and properties in the country must account for their actions. Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to President Muhammadu Buhari, made this known on live television. Reports have it that the Central Bank of Nigeria froze the accounts of 20 ENQUIRY champions, while another promoter of the movement, Modupe Odele, was prevented from traveling last week and had her passport seized by the Nigerian Immigration Service. When asked whether his principal was aware of the development, Shehu said the protesters must face the law. He said the country has only one president and has only one constitution. President Muhammadu Buhari is responsible for his government. He added that some politicians who promoted the ENQUIRY demonstrations, including those of the People's Democratic Party, should publicly denounce the attendant destruction caused by the protest. And moving forward quickly, rise in COVID-19 cases, fears over second wave as states shun safety protocols. There are fears that Nigeria could soon be hit with a second wave of COVID-19 following rising daily cases and the abandonment of safety protocols by states across the country. For instance, Nigeria recorded 937 cases last week as against 923 the previous week. Between Monday, November 2nd and Friday, November 6th, there was a steady increase in the number of confirmed cases, with 72 recorded on Monday, 137 on Tuesday, 155 on Wednesday, with a figure rising to 180 and 223 on Thursday and Friday respectively. The figure, however, dropped to 59 on Saturday, but this was because excuse me. This was because there were fewer tests conducted on Saturday. The fear of the second wave of the virus is also reinforced by many state governments that have abandoned the enforcement of safety rules. In Lagos, Kano, Plateau, Edo, Oyo, and Ogun states, it was observed that there were no security agency enforcing safety protocols which were being freely violated. States with the highest confirmed cases of November 7th are Lagos with 21,655, Federal Capital Territory 6,212, Plateau 3,676, Oyo 3,515, Rivers 2,866, and Kaduna with 2,698. But the President, Nigeria Academy of Science, Professor Mosto Onoha, said the country risks being hit by a second wave of COVID-19 if the disregard for the Nigerian Center for Disease Control's guidelines by the citizens continue. Meanwhile, virologist at the University of Ibadan, Professor David Olaleye, attributed a rise in COVID-19 cases in the last 1 week to the recent End SARS protest. In another development, quickly, NYSC orientation camp won't be shut over COVID-19, says NCDC. None of the 37 orientation camps of the National Youth Service Corps will be shut down should one corps member test positive to COVID-19, the Director General, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chekwe Ihekwezo, has said. According to him, prevention, detection, and prompt response remain critical factors for the safe reopening of camps. He stated this ahead of the nationwide reopening of NYSC orientation camps on Tuesday, November 10, 2020. A statement issued by the NYSC Director, Press and Public Relations, Adenike Adeyemi, said the Ihekwezo gave the conditions during a webinar held for the 2020 Batch B prospective corps members getting ready for orientation course. Ihekwezo said all the prospective corps members and camp officials should undergo COVID-19 tests in order to ascertain their health status, and in the event of a prospective corps members testing positive, corps members should not panic as adequate measures have been put in place in all the NYSC camps to manage such case. In his remarks, the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Shaibu Ibrahim, praised the NCDC, DG, and his team for working tirelessly to safeguard the health of the nation. And coming quickly from around Africa, Guinea's Condé takes victory lap after court declares him president. A day after being declared Guinea's president for a controversial third term by the Constitutional Court, incumbent Alpha Condé staged an hour-long walkabout in Conakry. About the 82-year-old did so with bodyguards surrounding him after his main opponent, Celo Diallo, called for resistance by all legal means. The scenes of jubilation during his work in the capital are a far cry from the deadly clashes seen after he pushed through changes to the constitution that allowed him to run again. With 59.5% of the vote cast, Condé's support surpassed the absolute majority needed to win in the first round, judges found, throwing out challenges to the October 18 ballot from figures that include his main opponent. Condé also pledged to take a look at outstanding issues between Guinea and France, the ex-colonial power, again without providing details. After months of violence, confrontation, and a bitter campaign, he insisted the time had come to reach out to opponents and improve the daily lives of the country inhabitants. Guinea is one of the poorest countries in the world and has seen frequent bouts of political violence. Its politics are mainly drawn along ethnic lines. The president's base is among the ethnic Malinke community, while Diallo has strong backing among the Fulani people. And quickly, still from around Africa, Ethiopia's prime minister replaces top officials as Tigray tensions rise. Ethiopia's prime minister Abiy Ahmed replaces his army chief, the head of intelligence, and the foreign minister as the conflict with the northern Tigray region escalates. Abiy's office said in a statement that Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen had been appointed Foreign Minister while Deputy Army Chief Bihano Jula was promoted to Army Chief of Staff, and Temesgen Tirune, who was President of the Amara region, was appointed as the new intelligence chief. The Prime Minister did not explain the move, but he accused the Tigray People's Liberation Front, an ethnic faction in the north of the country, of preparing for war with the federal government since 2018. Tensions rose with the Tigray region on Wednesday after the Prime Minister accused the TPLF of an attack on federal troops. The federal army is continuing its offensive on the area and is feared the fighting could spark a civil war. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you updates from the United States of America. Stay with us, please.
Unforgettable moment of supernatural action for earthly release and revival.
Hello, praise God. My name is Johnson Suleiman. I hope this message meets you well. On the 9th and the 10th of the month of November, I will be in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be outstanding. I'm coming to Benin for greater works. Join me and tell somebody to join me. It's going to be outstanding. On the 9th, we're going to start in the morning, 7 in the morning and 3 at noon. It will be powerful. God is sending me to Benin with a word for somebody, and that person looks like you. I'll see you in Benin City for greater works 2020. God bless you.
Happening live at Omega Fire Ministries, South 2 Regional Headquarters, Benin 1 Waik Road, Aduwawa, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. 9th and 10th of November 2020. The time is 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Greater Works 2020, Benin City. This is your time.
All right, welcome back. And now updates from United States of America. On U.S. election, Joe Biden pushes forward with plans for office. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden is to make tackling the coronavirus pandemic his top priority following his win over Donald Trump, his team says. Announcing the first steps in his transition plan, his team said there will be more testing and Americans will be asked to wear masks. Mr. Biden is expected to name a 12-member coronavirus task force today. Mr. Trump has yet to concede, and Mr. Biden's win remains a projection as key states are still counting votes. However, the Democrat is forging ahead with his plans for assuming power in January after major U.S. network courts called the election of his favor on Saturday. In his first speech as president-elect on Saturday, Mr. Biden said it was time to heal the U.S. and vowed not to divide both, but to unify the country. He and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris have actually launched a website for the transition, saying the team will also focus on the economy, tackling racism and climate change. The projected election result means Mr. Trump becomes the first one-term president since the 1990s. The Republican president's campaign has filed a barrage of lawsuits in various states, but election officials say there is no evidence that the vote was rigged against him, as he has said. The president-elect is vowing a major shift in the way the White House approaches coronavirus after Mr. Trump repeatedly downplayed its gravity and resisted public health measures, including wearing masks and social distancing. Mr. Biden also wants rules mandating the wearing of masks across the country, which he says would save thousands of lives. He plans to call on every American to wear a mask when they are around people outside their own household, and wants states, governors, and local authorities to make this obligatory. The president-elect has regularly appeared in public wearing a mask, while Mr. Trump has largely avoided doing so. Now, updates quickly from Europe. Nagorno-Karabakh, Azerbaijan takes key town in Armenia conflict. Azerbaijan has captured a key town in the separatist Nagorno-Karabakh region, according to the country's president. Ilham Aliyev announced the Azerbaijan forces have taken Shusha, known as Shushi, as Armenia. Armenia, however, denied the town's capture and said fighting was ongoing. Capturing the strategically important town will be a major victory for Azerbaijan in the ongoing conflict over the disputed territory. Nagorno-Karabakh is intentionally recognized as part of Azerbaijan, but is governed by ethnic Armenians backed by the Armenian government. A war between the two countries over the region ended in 1994 with a truce but no peace deal. Fresh fighting erupted in September, with each side blaming the other for outbreaking violence. Shusha sits on hills above the territorial capital Stepanakert, known as the Kankedi in Azerbaijan, and lies on the road linking the city with Armenian territory. If captured, it could serve as a staging post for an assault on the capital. President Aliyev said the liberation of Shusha will go down in the history of the Azerbaijani people. And quickly, we'll go on business news right now. Oil and gas exports hit $3.71 billion in 13 months. Nigeria exported crude oil and gas worth $3.71 billion from August 2019 to August 2020. Latest statistics released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation have shown. The NNPC also stated that Nigeria's total crude oil and gas exports still increased in the month of August 2020 by 64.84% to $139.5 million when compared to what was recorded in the preceding month. Figures from the just released August 2020 monthly financial and operations reports of the NNPC show that crude oil export sales contributed $80.27 million, or 57.54% of the dollar transactions. This was in contrast to the $55.29 million contribution in the previous month, while the gas export season amounted to $59.23 million in the month under review. It also indicated an increased trading surplus of 29.6 billion naira posted by the oil firm compared to the 20.36 billion naira surplus in July 2020, which was the third consecutive month of global recovery from COVID-19 effect. The oil firm stated that the 45% improvement in the performance was as a result of an 82% growth in surplus posted by the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company due to sustained improvement in global market fundamentals. The NNPC Group surplus was further enhanced by the 109% increased profit by Duke Oil Incorporated, as well as 75% and 22% reduction in deficits for the Nigerian Pipelines and Storage Company and refineries. And still on business news, recapitalization. Insurers wants NICAM to waive December deadline. Insurance companies have urged the National Insurance Commission to waive the first phase of a segmented recapitalization for the insurance and reinsurance companies scheduled to end by December 31st, 2020. They spoke during a meeting of the Insurance Company Chief Executive Officer with the Commissioner for Insurance at the Industries Professional Forum in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The executive said the operators had earlier appealed to the Commission to waive the December 2020 milestone. They said the operators were more concerned about the aspect relating to attainment of certain thresholds by December 31st, 2020, failing which the Commission may restrict the scope of business insurance and reinsurance companies will transact. Here he said the operators observed the huge impact of COVID-19 on the financial service sectors and the national economy at large, coupled with the situation that was worsened by the losses from the nationwide EndSARS protests. NICAM had recently extended the deadline for insurance and reinsurance companies to meet its new capital requirements to September 30th, 2021 from December 31st, 2020. NICAM also mandated that 50% of the minimum paid-up capital for insurance and 60% for reinsurance must be met by 31st December 2020. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you news from the sporting world. Stay with us.
Men's Conference 2020 with the theme Kingship by Service.
You are a man around the world. This is an opportunity for you to come and just get blessed and enjoy the very presence of God, enjoy the anointing of God, enjoy the grace of God. We are believing God for miracles, for signs, for wonders, for men taking their place in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Date 11th through 13th November 2020. 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily, happening live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Biniokini Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiry, call +234 806 464 6180.
Welcome sports news. NFF to get 1.2 billion naira from sports ministry. The Nigeria Football Federation is expected to get a sum of 1.2 billion naira from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development for the 2021 fiscal year. The Ministry of Sports proposed a sum of 181 billion naira to be spent in the 2021 fiscal year. In the budget, which was presented by President Muhammadu Buhari to the joint session of the National Assembly on October 8, the Sport Ministry's budget represents 1.38% of the country's total budget of 13 trillion naira for the year. The budget has yet to be passed by the National Assembly. The NFF, however, will spend the bulk of their budget appropriation on sporting activities for the year, which amounts to 755 million naira, while a total sum of 106 million naira will be spent on salaries. This comes after the postponement of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations to 2022 for the men's senior national team, but there will be qualifying games for AFCON and 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Quickly, in another sports news, Medvedev beats Zverev to win Paris Masters. Third seed Daniil Medvedev claimed his first Paris Master titles at Barclays Arena on Sunday by battling back from a set down to beat Germany's Alexander Zverev. The Russian was on top form in a high-quality encounter, winning 5-7, 6-4, 6-1 to secure his first trophy of the season and the 8th of his career. Both players will now turn their attentions to the ATP Tour Finals in London, an event won by Zverev in 2018. Medvedev has had an up-and-down season, but was at his best this week in Paris, continuing his magnificent record on hard court. All of his ATP titles has actually come on the surface. Fourth seed Zverev was bidding for a third straight tournament victory after back-to-back successes on home soil in Cologne. It remains without a Masters title since the 2018 Madrid Open after seeing his 12-match winning streak ended. He has recently denied allegations from his ex-girlfriend Olga Sharipova that he tried to strangle her while at last year's US Open. Zverev hit out at those criticizing him after the match. The world number 5 outlasted the US Open runner-up in a near-empty Barclays Arena with France in his second coronavirus lockdown, securing the win after 2 hours and 8 minutes on court. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. In case you're just joining us, here's the news headline recap. CBN action. ENQUIRY promoters must face the law, says presidency. Guinea's Condé takes victory lap after court declares him president. On U.S. election, Joe Biden pushes forward with plans for office. Oil and gas exports hits $3.71 billion in 13 months. And NFF to get 1.2 billion naira from sports ministry. And quickly, we have photo of the day. You see that it depicts that when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. What does that tell us? It then means that we need to be prepared always, all the time, because opportunity can just knock at your door anytime. You can as well drop your comment on our social media platforms on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV. You can tweet at us at My Celebration TV, YouTube at on Celebration TV. Always remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part and do it with all diligence. Thanks once again for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Thanks. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu.